welcome back to another episode of In the Garden for a Gardener's Notebook. For more information on this podcast, you can always visit the website douglasewelch.com. There you'll find links to a Gardener's Notebook as well as everything else that I do, including career opportunities, technology IQ, careers in new media, and more. Well, today we're out here on a relatively sunny day here in our California garden. I always often joke that spring and fall in California, or at least in Southern California, are about 2 weeks long. And I think we've had our 2 weeks of spring. Yesterday we were 85 degrees. Today we're supposed to be 85 or 90 degrees. Fire warnings in effect and all that. And it seems like summer is very quickly happening upon us. So everything in the garden is jumping up now with the rain we had a few weeks ago. And so it's time to get back in the garden, start doing some weeding, and check in on some of the plants we have growing. First thing we want to check in with today is our potatoes. They have leaped up. It took them a while to sprout, as I said in the last episode, but now they're just going gangbusters. They're jumping right up. In fact, they're growing so fast that pretty much after I shoot this video, I'm going to have to bring some soil out and start to hill these up. Basically, looks like at least one set of leaves on the bottom I can cover. You do that so that the tubers have a place to grow underneath the soil. You don't want them exposed to sunlight because they will turn green with the solanine that gathers in the potatoes, and you really don't want to eat those type of potatoes. I'm really happy to see how well these are going, though. I think we're going to get a nice crop if the animals leave them alone, if we don't get some sort of pest or some other thing going on. I'm really happy. While there are fewer onions this year, as I said before, some things may have gotten kicked up or what, they look much more vigorous. I'm seeing much larger plants. I think we're going to get some much larger onions out of this overall, which will be really nice. We got a good harvest last time, but they were all fairly small, and it could have been that I overplanted. It could have been that the soil just wasn't that great here. I have improved it since that first time growing onions here, but I'm thinking this bed is just going to continuously be our onion bed year after year. We might rotate something else in here just for health reasons to keep the soil healthy and make sure the blight doesn't get in or something there, but otherwise very happy with this. You may have seen in the opening shot there behind me, the Raphaellepsis is now in full bloom. It's very interesting. You can sort of see where it gets the sun and where it doesn't, because of course where it gets the sun it blooms more quickly, and the other part of the plant is, while green, is not as many blooms, or it's blooming later in the cycle. And in the background here you can see some of our azaleas blooming up, also as well as some of the grass that needs to be weeded out here. We don't use the sprinklers in the front yard that often, so we don't typically get grass in the paths, but when we have a rain, of course, it does cause things to jump up dramatically. You can see in the center of the screen here, the honeybees in the area love the Raphaellepsis. They are all over. It's a little hard to catch them as they flit around there, but I saw one there just for a short period of time. That's good to see. Again, part of having your garden is having a place for wildlife in your garden, and bees are an important part of the environment. So whenever you can provide a nice habitat for them, some food, especially at this time of the year when there's a bit of a dearth of food. We're just starting to really get into the bloom season here, even in California. But it's great to see this little tiny bit of quote-unquote wildlife here in the garden. Man, my mouth is watering just waiting for the strawberry to get ripe. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, looking really healthy. I can't wait to pluck that off the plant and have that either simply out of hand or in my breakfast cereal or something like that in the morning, looking really good. If you look back at some videos from a few weeks ago where I pruned the wisteria back, you'll see that this looked like a little shorn sheep here, but just in a few weeks, wisteria, vigorous as it always is quickly come back into leaf and is just starting to cover the pergola once again. It is always amazing how quickly it grows and how densely it grows. It's nice to see it come back. It's going to nicely shade our pergola for the summer, and we'll probably give it another trim somewhere in the middle of the summer just to keep it in check. As I'd hoped when we had to remove a pine tree along the southern property line that was shading this lemon tree, it looks like you can see the flowers growing here, and you can see the fruit growing here. It looks like we're going to get a little more fruit off this little dwarf lemon tree this year. I was also talking to my neighbor next door, and they have a lemon tree as well, a full-size lemon tree, and she's going to bring a bag by. And this year I think we'll do our traditional limoncello making as we do each year. I didn't do it last year because I basically had supplies left from the previous year, but now it's all gone, so it's time to start another batch going. So that's what's happening in my sunny Southern California garden. I'd love to hear what's going on in your garden. I know it's big time of year. We're just waiting for that snow to melt, waiting for the ground to thaw so we can get into our gardens again. But share what's going on in your garden, what you're growing, what you're planning on growing, and maybe you got crocuses or something else coming up already. I'd love to see what's going on in your area of the world. Until next time, I'm Douglas E. Welch. You can visit the website douglasewelch.com for more information on the Gardener's Notebook as well as everything else that I do. Until next time, keep on digging.